going on YouTube? Thanks for tuning into the channel. Your boy, Devin Coates, day 41, law 41, 48 days with the 48 laws. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Pick up your copy in the link in the description below. So judgment. What happens first always appears better and more original than what comes after. If you succeed a great man or have a famous parent, you will have to accomplish double their achievements to outshine them. Do not get lost in their shadow or stuck in a past not of your own making. Establish your own name and identify by changing course. Stay the overbearing father, disparage his legacy, and gain power by shining in your own way. So he goes through two stories. I might briefly go through them, but I mean, this is a very easy law to understand. So, I mean, the first one was like Louis the 14th to Louis the 15th. Louis the 14th pulled France out of a civil war. Louis the 15th basically was so bad he ended the monarchy. Alexander the Great is really the only person that's kind of like overdone from where I can think of in any recollection that I have. Like, he outdid his father, actually. His father was the king of Macedonia, very successful in his own right, and Alexander the Great is the one that we really know of. So he actually really did conquer everything. But let me just bring it to normal terms where you can just really understand it easily. I think Michael Jordan is probably universal enough that people that are outside the U.S. can know of. Like, Michael Jordan, he has a son, and if his son goes to the NBA, imagine what he's going to have to accomplish for us to give him the amount of credit that we give Michael Jordan, and just beyond everything. I mean, not even just the money that he has, the resources, the inside knowledge of Michael Jordan and how he does. And we already saw what Michael Jordan did, how he revolutionized the game. Like, how are you going to top that? How are you going to do that bigger? How are you going to, like, especially if you're his son? I mean, I think it even goes when you're not necessarily the son of somebody else. I mean, if you listen to rap music and just see the way that the landscape has changed, it's very hard to drop. Like, if you're a new artist now, it's really hard to drop paid for music before you're, like, discovered or before you have a huge following, because everybody drops free music. The precedent's already been set and people already did the paid route. So it's like, it's hard for you to become that new guy. Or, for example, Lil Wayne. There's a bunch of people, when Lil Wayne was real big, back around like 09, 2010, everybody sounded like Wayne, but they could never catch on because Wayne already did Wayne. Or everybody that jumped on that auto-tune bandwagon, like T-Pain had it, Wayne kind of had it, and Kanye kind of had it. But after they did it, everybody else who did it kind of fell by the wayside because they were trying to step into the same lane that had already been done. And to do that, you have to do something that's just that much better. But you can think of something great and stand on that same thing. And I might be getting into a little bit of like an esoteric genre that I just know about. But like, Kanye West dropped 808s and Heartbreaks, I think around 08, 09, somewhere around there. And when Drake came out with like So Far Gone, it kind of revolutionized the way that 808 and Heartbreak sounded, but it outdid it. So it kind of like created his own lane with that. But now there's tons of singy-songy rappers now that are like one-hit wonders. They're in and gone, but Drake kind of established that he created his whole lane, and it's very hard to jump onto somebody that's not doing something different. So that's a real big thing about this, is that you want to create differentiation. But the best thing to do, especially just getting back to literally what this chapter is talking about. I mean, if you, and I see this all the time, I do not come from anywhere close to rich beginnings. I mean, I give you my life story, but I know people that are rich, and generally I feel like, especially as we gotten older, when I was younger, I felt like they had a lot of privilege, and I kind of had a resentment towards them, because it's like, I'm like struggling all the time. Like, lunch money is like a chore for my mom to give me, like, and you're getting all this. But now I see the pressure they have, because it's like, if your dad's very, very successful, and you have to really pave your way. Um, and you have to do it differently. And it causes a lot of stress and a lot of pressure to live up to the same standard that was created uh, previously. And honestly, when you have the comforts and the trappings of success, especially when you didn't earn it yourself, it kind of does make you a little bit lazy, which was very atypical for Alexander to be so ambitious, even though he was afforded all of those privileges as well. But the idea is to do something completely different. So, I mean, if your dad is a fucking celebrity lawyer and just super successful, you probably don't want to go into law. You might want to do an athletic pursuit. Um, if your dad is a crazy athlete, like for example, Snoop Dogg's son. I mean, I don't know how successful he is, but he can be very successful at football because Snoop is a rapper. You know what I mean? But his son is going into football where he can excel there. It's completely different. There is no path that was created that you have to outdo. But it's just really hard to outdo somebody that's created a lot, and especially when you are the son or of somebody like that, or the daughter of somebody like that. You generally are afforded comforts and privileges that do soften you up and make it harder to succeed. So that's really what this chapter was about. It also kind of talked about the fact that, you know, later in life, you sometimes become the person that you resented before, and you just got to kind of be wary and make sure that you stay true to yourself and don't kind of fall back to that other way. But I think that the beginning is the most important thing. Like if you are the descendant of somebody, or jumping into a lane where it is in a similar situation, your biggest thing you want to do is differentiate. So a great example is Dwight D. Eisenhower was like an old guy. He was the president of the U.S. in the 50s. He was an old guy, played golf, a kind of war hero guy. John F. Kennedy, when he came into power, he was like a young guy, didn't really play golf, but he played football on the White House lawn. So it was a complete difference. It was a complete other side of the spectrum. Like it's all youth and vibrance. I mean, football is a young man's game, but golf is kind of an old man's kind of pastime. So what you want to do is differentiate if you're stepping into somebody else's lane or walking in the shoes of a great man. So that's it for this one. Like, comment, subscribe. I am making some good progress so far, so I am very confident that by next week I can just start jumping on my new posting schedule. So thanks for tuning into the channel. Like, comment, subscribe. Your boy Devin Coates. Till next time, peace.